got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna talk fun, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop, TheRocker.
Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbe with Believe in the Run.
This is Megan with Believe in the Run.
This is Carl with Believe in the Run.
And you're listening to The Drop. Finger guns, Robbe.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm out of it.
Everyone's a little slow today.
I know, man.
Yeah.
It's the heat.
It is the heat. It is hot out there, people.
When they say it's sticky, this is when it actually is sticky.
I believe this is beyond sticky. This is soupy. Like, nothing can stick to you because you're so glossy
But
wet.
no, you feel sticky. Like it feels like if a fly ran into you, it'd just be there.
It's stuck to you.
Which isn't, maybe it would be a good idea for, maybe not me.
I don't know. I'm seeing more.
Other people.
I'm seeing people out running, though. Like, this is crazy because it's been really horrible the last couple of days.
In the daytime? Like
Well, we run in the morning.
Yeah.
But it was
But the
like,
sun's out.
It's 80
yeah.
degrees and 75%.
The problem is
dew point or
the
whatever.
sun comes up at like 5. I don't even.
Yeah, 6:30.
I feel like sometimes when I'm almost going to bed, like it's like, isn't it up at 5:30?
It's pretty up.
I
Yeah,
think
it's early.
I
now.
think it's 6.
Okay.
What was crazy was yesterday we were running and it was so hot and so humid, but there was a little bit of cloud cover, and I noticed it start to break apart during my run, and I was almost like, no,
Yeah.
come back, clouds.
That's when you need whatever the people that make the storms, that like the conspiracy theory that like the government's like making storms and stuff happen.
That'd be cool.
Why can't they do something cool for runners instead of just
Like have a personal cloud?
yeah. But there's like I remember there was like some conspiracy in when that North Carolina floods happened that like they wanted to buy land that was good for mining or something.
Oh,
So
jeez.
they wiped out
For
ash.
fracking?
I was like, yes. That seems like there's easier ways to get land, like eminent domain, than cloud seeding a storm over Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's
If
like-
I had the technology, though.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, why can't we
I saw this
do
in a
that for
movie
runners?
called Cloudy with a Chance at Meatballs.
Was that a cloud,
That kid could make storms. And
that cloud seeding?
yeah, and then you would get hamburgers or
Now
ice
that's
cream.
actually pretty good because you could solve world hunger pretty much right off the bat.
You could, but it also created a vermin problem.
Oh, because you can't catch all the meatballs.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine just having a huge net, just going out there and catching meatballs nonstop.
Yeah, I think you
freeze
get
them?
tired after a while.
Would you freeze some?
I'm lazy that way. I'm like, then what? I'm gonna freeze them. Then I'm gonna open up a store where I have to package them and send them out.
Now, are these meatballs seasoned beforehand?
I believe they're full.
I think when
Full
you
on.
Yeah.
seed the clouds, you can season the clouds as well.
That's the weird thing. The food did come out fully cooked, so the burgers were on buns with cheese and stuff. So it wasn't like it was raining raw meat.
Well, I guess if their lightning can cook things, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think
Flash fry?
Do you think Megan's still here?
no, does she have her headphones on? Are those turned on?
I have a mute
mic
button.
on?
Remember that mute button from the Shark Tank?
Yeah.
I got that.
Were you
Alright.
researching recipes for meatballs that come from
two
the
things
sky?
happened. One, I opened up my weather app to see if I could find the sunrise, and they've changed the whole layout of the weather app, which is annoying AF, so I couldn't
Oh, they
find
do that
it.
every month.
And then I moved on because I wanted to check out who was leaderboard on Grit, because I thought
Oh,
that was
okay.
relevant to things that were happening, not meatballs.
Oh, well.
Meatballs are always relevant.
I will tell you what, though. I know it's somewhat still on topic. You know, I took some element before my run today, but when I'm sweating, and this temperature, like I'm sweating before the first mile hits, I feel that trickle start,
Yeah.
and then it's just flood.
Yeah.
I definitely am a salty sweater because I can taste it in my mouth.
That's great.
Okay. I'm just kidding. No. So that I mean, I don't think I'll play along with you. I'm not gonna call you out on that. I think my mustache prevents me from tasting it in my mouth.
You get the filter.
I'll join in the pool with you.
The salt filter.
I'll jump in.
All right.
Yeah, I think it does. And then you give it a good kind of give it a good like ring it out at the end. You get an extra dose.
That's nice.
Of concentrated
Yeah,
salt.
I'm not saying it's lemonade flavor or anything, but it's salty.
Yeah, it's a flavor.
Yeah, it is a flavor, definitely.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. If you drink a lot of element and then you sweat, can you recycle that back? Is it a not
Like a recycle, like in Dune where they have the suits that recycle.
Yeah. Can you basically do that?
I would think it would make sense.
No,
wouldn't it?
your sweat rate and the amount of salt in your sweat doesn't change.
Well, remember, what's the guy who used to have the survival show, Bear Grylls? Remember he would drink his urine when he would be in
God.
You know,
Gosh.
I think he did that on the reg.
Dude, there are people that do that for just health. Like they think it's
Health.
They think it's like a magical health power.
I don't think it is. I think what it is though, like after you take vitamins and it's very yellow afterwards because you didn't digest all the vitamins.
Every morning.
Maybe if
Yeah.
maybe if you're on a budget,
Yeah.
you're like I don't want to lose those vitamins.
I mean, I get it. It's part
sustainable.
of If you're truly care about the environment, you would do that.
Drink your own pee.
Speaking about the environment, Robbie, you've been doing your kind of Robbie Raccoon
Trying to save the environment.
runs, picking up things. One of the things that seems interesting is if green lighters were money, you'd be rich.
Yeah, I guess it's a trending thing now. Lime green lighters. I don't know why.
Well,
Like,
I
there's
mean, for
always-
people who don't know what Robbie's doing, tell them what
So
you're
like
doing.
basically for every day of grit, I mean every day in general. This is basically my normal life, but I'm just
documenting it
documenting
now.
it for grit. I'm trying to see how much change I can find on the ground, or just things and to then flip and sell throughout the month of July. And so far, it hasn't been that great.
I'm like,
I'm really
you need a
milking-
windfall.
I'm really milking the content, like strawing water out of a stone to get anything going. So right now it's day 7. I'm only at like 76 cents found on the ground.
It's actually day
7. Yeah, I haven't run yet today.
Okay.
I guess. So. And so that. So yeah, it's been good, but I think the good stuff hasn't come yet.
I think you need a windfall. It's like you need to find like a overturned Brinks truck or something.
Well, okay, so I didn't even cover this because it was too long of a thing that I thought I had done. I thought I was going to be in a good spot. All right, so I found this, like an old car battery, right? And so you can take those to Advanced Auto or AutoZone, and they'll give you a $10 gift card for the core deposit. And so I grabbed that, like, later on, and then took it there, but it was I knew I was playing with fire because it was close to when they closed, and no one wants to deal with stuff. And so it was like 10 minutes before they closed. And you remember back in the day, like, auto parts stores used to be like a 60-year-old dude
who knew something
who
about
knew
cars.
how like a car worked.
Yeah.
And now it's like if you open up a portal from Taco Bell customers to if there's a pipeline from Taco Bell customers to Advanced Auto Parts.
Is this the Advanced Auto Part that's on like Baltimore Street or whatever that's like
No, not that one. This is out in Dundalk, so
Okay.
it's already not good. and it's now just staffed by, like, I'll just say their hair is very colorful and probably a nose piercing or two. And as soon as I walk in, I'm like, this isn't going to work. Like, because they don't know what's happening at all.
But also, this is for $10, and you took the time to drive out to Dundalk to go to an auto
I mean, that's-
parts.
That
What else
is-
did I have going on? It's like I had to see. If
Did
it
you
could
get
happen.
the $10?
So I walk in and I'm like, I have this car battery. Can I change it for credit? And she's like, I don't even know if we do that. I was like, she's like, my register's closed. It's like almost 9 o'clock. It was 8:50. She's like, can you just get back another time? I'm like, I'm already here. And she's like,
Just give me $10.
and so I was like, yeah, I'm just bringing in the battery. And she didn't know what she was doing. She had no idea. And she's like, we can't do it. I was like, so I was like, I'm not coming back because this is ridiculous. So anyways, basically all I did was recycle a battery for free.
So you didn't take the battery with you?
I almost did, and now I'm like,
Go to Pet Boys.
I almost did, and I'm like, I can't be running around Dundalk for the next.
That's
couple
probably why
days.
somebody had the battery just on the ground. They probably went there when they were like, no, there's nothing. And you're like,
Yeah. So now I should have kept it and then tried Advanced Auto Parts the next day.
man, I went to one of those places recently because the battery on our car was dying. I thought it was a real simple thing. You take the battery out, put a battery in, you got a new battery. But apparently that's not the case in new cars anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, like mine, the computer needs to be reset and you need to do all this stuff.
Really?
And yeah, it was.
What year's your car? It's like only
right before COVID.
Okay, because mine's a 2017, and I've just switched mine out.
The
Super-
Outback?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Does that have like a screen and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I mean, you guys got all the crazy cameras and stuff in your
Yeah.
sensors and stuff.
It's
so.
nuts. Yeah, so
That's annoying.
but when I went there, in just a few years, like I remember a couple years back, I needed new windshield wipers, and I was buying them. The lady behind the counter was like, "Do you want me to help you install those?"
Yeah.
And like she came out to my car and
Yeah, it was great.
I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great," and that's probably something I could figure out.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Last time I went there, and I feel like even like if you go to Nordstrom's or one of those places that used to pride themselves on customer service, it's just gone. And she was like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, gee, I have this Volkswagen. I gave the year, blah, blah, blah. I need a new battery. She was like, look it up in the book. And I was like,
No way.
and it was like a paper book.
Yeah.
Like, I know you got a computer right there that you can be like, tap, tap, tick, tick, tick.
Right. In fact, you probably have. I probably got one before at some point, and you have all that information there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And
yeah, they don't care. No one
didn't
cares.
care at all. Yeah.
It's pretty. I mean, in general, I feel like nobody cares anymore. But
Is that regional or is that
I think it's
if you go
everywhere, dude.
across the country?
I think maybe in the South it's a little bit better because everyone's nicer.
But
there.
you're right. Like when I go into one of those places, I expect a dude who's like 60 years old. He's wearing like a lot of denim,
Yeah.
and he's gonna
There's definitely a greasy shirt of some kind.
probably plaid, short sleeve, but in the pocket there's one of those tire pressure gauges
Yeah.
that pops out.
Oh,
That's the guy
yeah.
I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's the guy I know that like I could tell him I have cancer. He could probably fix it.
I think he's a phantom. I think they don't exist anymore.
Yeah. They got tired of stuff and just left.
I don't blame
Went
them.
back to their planet.
I don't blame them. Well, they probably were. Advanced Auto Parts is probably like, oh, we can hire some person whose mom is forcing them out of their basement for $10 an hour, or we can hire this guy who actually knows about cars for 25. What are we gonna do?
I don't like you figure those guys were old enough that maybe they're there just to get out of the house themselves.
Yeah, I can't wait for that part of my life.
To be a Walmart greeter.
Yeah.
I totally could see Robbie in his little blue vest. Bill would be like, I need a chair for fishing. Let me show you what I got.
Like to be not that I don't feel like this is working here, but I mean like working just like doing something super random like that requires zero thought.
Well, when I was running this morning,
Just
I
sitting
saw
there.
a guy buffing the side of a boat with like a circular
Yeah.
like thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you call it.
That's what I used to do.
I
Yeah,
know.
a
and I
power
thought-
buffer.
I was like, that guy's doing what Robbie talks about, basically called a living hell. But
It is not.
it was a pretty big boat too.
Where was it at?
Right in the marina.
Yeah.
Like I would say, I don't know feet that
Ooh.
well, but
Man, I remember
at
those days.
least 4 or 5 of me could go
Yeah.
lengthwise.
Oh, that's exactly in this weather too.
Yeah.
And it sucks because your sweat's dripping all over, and if it mixes in with the
Wax?
it doesn't do it right. So you gotta make sure you're
No, that's a
sweating
bummer.
all over it. Yeah.
Because it'd be cool to be like, yeah, that boat's got part of my DNA all over it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that was. Dude, I remember. So I wrote about in the newsletter how I don't mind the heat that much, but there was one day where I looked it up because I was making sure I wasn't making things up, and it was the hottest day on record in Baltimore, and I worked outside that day on a boat, and dude, I can't even tell you because it was 108 degrees, just standard with 126
Ugh.
heat index.
Real feel?
Yeah. And I was like in this. It was a smaller boat, so like the white walls were on all sides in the bow, and it was just it was in the sun, and it was just radiating.
You were like in the first, what do they call those little ovens that you get now?
Easy bake.
No, the air fryer.
Yeah, basically.
Easy bake.
That's probably someone was looking out their window and they got the idea from that. And then so I would just work for 5 or 10 minutes and then get in my car and blast the AC, and then go back and do it. And then eventually I was like, I can't do this anymore.
See, I bet you wish you had one of them Omnius headbands. back
Yeah,
then.
seriously. I had such a bad. That's what I need at LMNT, because I had such a bad headache. I mean, I drank a pitcher of beer that night. So
I don't think
probably why.
anything would have helped you in that, though.
Element would have a little bit.
Yeah,
108 degrees, real feel 126.
yeah. It was.
That's basically you are on one of those warming plates.
Yeah, it was insane. Anyways, but hopefully never have to go back to that again. That would not be fun.
I know people right now are trying to run. If they're listening to the podcast and they're running, they're like, it's hot out. You're sweating in here. We're like, oh, it's so hot. Like, it's not probably helping them at all.
No, but you know what's
But that's
happening
grit. That's
is
grit.
first of all, that's grit. And you're just getting acclimated and stronger, and then all the cool temps are going to come in the fall, and you'll be so fast.
Is
That
that
is
first
true.
50-degree day you do feel like you got rockets on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely worth the payoff. Maybe not.
It'll eventually. You'll get there. But speaking of running a lot in the heat, are you guys looking at this crew that's crushing grit
Yeah,
right
it's
now?
insane.
The Houston Hotties.
I mean, speaking of hot, yeah, for real.
And they're in Houston, of all places.
Seriously.
I also went and looked at their Instagram, and they all have like insane grit goals. Like they did posts about their grit goals.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
They've been that club has been doing grit for a while, but they really stepped up their game this year.
Like I'm just looking at the top guy right now.
The only problem is some
Has-
people don't log their miles all the time. So, like, there's been some people that I would say sandbag for a little bit.
What on our who?
Yeah, you know.
On our team?
I do feel like on Faster Bastards,
Oh.
we have to remind them, hey, you got to,
Yeah.
don't wait till the last
Yeah.
day to log your miles.
I don't know. I don't think anyone's catching up to these.
Yeah, there are
these
some
guys.
crazy guys on that team.
But like I'm just looking, we're 8 days in, and this guy clocked 30 hours of running. That's like almost a full-time job.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Is that Gustavo
Well-
Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has
176 miles.
100 because he had 154 yesterday.
Oh well, now he's at 176.
Yeah, but you know what? Gustavo probably isn't taking batteries over to advanced auto.
That's true. Yeah. So you're missing out on
He's just
that.
running.
Yeah. I mean, you probably wasted a good hour on that one.
That was my recovery time. That was I'm gonna log that as a recovery run,
You should.
recovery drive.
Yeah.
And then we got because there's another person who's also from Houston right behind him, right?
Yeah.
Connor Bessel.
Well, now Jeremy is above him,
Oh, really? Okay.
unaffiliated.
Well, anyways, I counted like 20 people who had run over 100 miles.
Crazy in the
Which
first
is-
week.
I
Yeah.
think it has to be a record.
Yeah.
But also elevation. There's a woman from Hagerstown who's always at the top, and she's out of her mind. Her name is Jana Fridrichova. She's at 30.
Nice work on that.
She was at 32,000 feet for the first week.
Wow. Climbing.
She just runs up like Catoctin or some mountain out there in Frederick or some, or I guess Hagerstown. Yeah.
I definitely have more
It's
elevation
Hagerstown.
than I've wanted.
From
Which is, did you?
I mean, I went out to Patapsco
Okay.
on Sunday, and I've been trying to do a trail run once a week,
Yeah.
which will play into one of our shoe reviews today. And I've been successful at it. So we invited a couple people: Lo, Phil Ross, Steve,
Steve who?
Steve
Leibowitz?
Leibowitz.
Oh, nice.
And Lucas came out with Phil, this younger guy, and I'm like, dude, it's gonna be really easy. May have had a little fun on 4th of July. I'm just real easy on these things. And
Yeah.
So we started off, and I was going real easy, and my heart just started pounding out of my chest, going up and down the hills.
Really?
And yeah, and I was just like,
Could it be those 6 packs of LMNT that you drank that morning?
No, that's probably what saved
Just
me.
kidding.
But yeah, so I just felt like, oh, you know how you have a run every once in a while where you just like, ugh, this is miserable.
Yeah.
So we got up actually to the top of, you know, where like you do the kind of figure 8 loop and you go straight. And I was already at that point when we were coming through those like little tunnels of bushes. I was like starting to like hike a little bit there.
That part does suck.
Yeah. And I get up to the top and I had actually said to him, I said, you know, I was going to give Robbie crap for his trail run. The thing. And I go, my time's probably going to be slower than Robbie's at this point. But I ended up gutting it out. But man, it was just one of those days where it was actually nice and cool when you got down into the valley. But coming out in the sun and then the humidity coming out of the valley is like you baked. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That was rough.
Yeah. No, by the way, I labeled my activity trail run / hike.
Yeah.
I made sure to, and it was straight up to the top of a mountain. So it was like 1,000 feet over the first.
Did you get any
mile and a
trash
half.
cans on it on your Strava?
I didn't. No.
I think I did. I thought I threw a trash can.
And I
maybe
fell.
not.
I actually fell at least 1 or 2 times.
You fell?
On that run? Yeah, because you know the Hoka Mafate, that Satisfy shoe, the Hoka Satisfy,
Yeah.
the Mafate Speed. Or
Those I save for fashion.
it for whatever, and this is Hoka in general.
Wait, is that the one that's like almost translucent top? It's like the mocha color. That
yeah,
you have?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
That's a good-looking
Hoka
shoe.
trail shoes in general, I feel like always the toe's a little bit long on them, and so I kept catching it on. Like I was trying to run, I was running downhill at least, but it kept catching on rocks, and I like fell one time. Almost, I caught myself at the last second on another one. And I ran off into the woods. But yeah, it was a little dicey. The grip on them is really good, and I really actually like the fit of the upper otherwise, but they're just like a little bit long in the toe.
That's a good looking shoe though.
Yeah, I don't. It is, but I feel like I'd never know what to wear it with, so I was like, I'm just gonna actually run it. But yeah, that was a pretty tough trail run. But I was also looking for rattlesnakes, which I didn't find any, so that was like at the top of the mountain because there's a bunch of rock den type situations.
Were you like lifting rocks and looking underneath them?
No, I was just kind of like, no, I'm not gonna lift anything. That's a little dicey.
Yeah.
All right, first check in, man. I know it gets old. It's hot. Don't complain. Let us do all the complaining. Anyway, just buck up. Try to, enjoy being out there. Maybe even think, oh, all the sweat, that's the impurities leaving my body. Hang in there.
So yeah, there was definitely a hike.
Well, that's the
/
thing.
run.
Like, even on this run, I was feeling so miserable that there were some times where it was flat and I didn't feel like running. I was like
Yeah.
along the water. And you know that little road section that goes like to the little, almost like a hidden entrance thing?
Mm-hmm.
That one I was like,
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, Patapsco in general in the summertime is so humid and hot. Dude, I don't particularly like running there.
But see, that's why I think it's great, because getting ready for the ETC, I'm like, if I can run in Patapsco where it's hot and nasty and gross. Carl, I forgot to tell you on when I was doing my treadmill run, I put up the UTMB has there's somebody who does like long trail runs that
Yeah.
you can just watch them, so you get to see like what the trail looks like that we're going to be running on.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, dude, they're like 2 hours, 3 hours long, and it was phenomenal just
Sure.
to get. It got me so pumped.
It's got to be.
Oh, you got to
it's
send me
gonna
that
be
link.
insane.
Yeah, because you go like some of the path, like it drops off on the side, and then there's just these giant rocky, like Alps, I guess. I don't know what,
right?
But like mountains in the distance, and yeah, it looks like we're gonna have a sick time. Like I can't.
What's the distance on that?
20K?
20.
15K. That's what they label it as, but apparently it's like
It's
closer
like-
to 20.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect distance for a ridiculous mountain.
Well, it looks like
race.
we're gonna do like a lot of uphill, but then there's a lot of downhill.
Yeah.
So it'll be.
Are you gonna take hiking poles?
I would like
Trekking
to. I
poles?
love trekking poles. I think they're the greatest
I
thing.
think
You definitely should.
But the dude, it got me pumped. Like you'll check that out. But if you want to get pumped on something else, by the time that this comes out, Carl, you just finished up the Western States. Video.
Our little recap video.
Yeah.
I say this every time, but this is my favorite piece. That I worked
Nice.
on.
I have to say
it's
that.
the longest
Have you
one,
watched
too.
it the whole thing?
I haven't gotten through the whole thing. I've gotten 15 minutes in, but I'm like loving it so far. The thing besides, it's hard to not find beauty in the Sierra Nevadas and in California, but the color grading is good. The pace of it's good. It's just enjoyable piece. And sometimes I'm like, I like it because I was there and it's a recap and it's almost like, okay, brings back memories. But I think that even somebody who wasn't there will enjoy watching this and will get a vibe for what it was like to be there.
Yeah, hopefully you watch it and you're like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And if you're in the area, you want to check it out next year or
Or run it.
I don't know about running, but I would say like if it inspires you to go out and do some trail running and get
Yeah.
involved in the scene a little bit more, I think that's kind of the goal of these videos too. So
And I mean, even the other stuff, like we did a little river rafting and
yeah, a little personal.
some hiking stuff. But it's such a beautiful place.
Really is.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
Me neither.
Ooh, I'm excited for France. So now you're talking about.
Yeah, I
that.
know.
Yeah.
So check it out. I forget what it's called, but there's I'll put the YouTube. I'll give you the link
You
to
give me
it.
the link, I'll put it in.
And it made like being on the treadmill fun because the guy's running on the trail, and you're running, but it's first person. It's not like.
And is this real scenery that you're looking at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like someone just has a GoPro basically, and they
okay.
just set off,
And
no
it-
talking.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just watching the video. You're not running to this thing.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just part of your.
Still loving my Wahoo kicker run,
Yeah.
especially like right now when I have to do speed work. I'm not going to go outside in 90 degrees or 80, whatever it is, and try to hit paces. So I'll get on the Wahoo, do my workout. I actually did the Moibin Road.
I saw the map on Strava, the little
Yeah.
fork. I'm like, oh, he's back on Moy Ben.
Yeah, I use that because it's a nice roller. It's got some elevation that kind of like easy rollers on it. So I did I think it was 800s on that one last week. I don't know. I got to work out tomorrow. I'll probably do the same thing. But I put on the video being on UTMB in this, I guess it's the French and Swiss Alps.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't, like, this is what it's going to look like. I'm like, this is
Nice.
going to be cool.
I like it.
I mean, it is crazy how much bigger trail running is over there. But, so, I mean, I guess it'll be like a totally different experience even than Western States, which will be cool.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's kind of like steroids.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like just even looking at some of the highlights of like the people coming through, like you thought the escarpment was crazy. Like that stuff looks like just nuts. So hopefully it's a great time.
Yeah.
Something running related that I definitely thought we should at least mention is the Prefontaine Classic happened this
We watched
weekend.
it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What a
And-
great excuse to be on the couch after a run, by the way.
Our girl, Faith
Yeah.
Kipyegon, broke her own world record in the 1500, 3:48.68.
Wow.
So that was cool.
It was cool. You got to figure, like, I know there's some trolley comments on, like, the Nike attempt.
I mean, I should have known better because it's YouTube and it's
Yeah.
Nike.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a fun piece about the breaking four experience, and I was not expecting so many males to be so angry about it.
I honestly haven't even looked at the comments once yet because I knew that's exactly what it would be like.
How did you know
It's
that?
all-
like, I was
it's all
was
dudes,
taken
too.
aback.
I just know how much people hate Nike
I
and
would-
how
same
dude
thing.
dominated YouTube is, and I just know it's anonymous. So I knew it was just going to be toxic.
I almost
Yeah.
feel like YouTube has to take away the anonymity of people because it really is. It's like of the places that we have, it's the most toxic because people feel like they can just, say something or do something with like no repercussion.
Yeah, which I mean, that's why I don't really read comments on any of the videos anymore, except I'll do it for the podcast, but not most of the reviews. I don't. So sorry if you ask a question about shoes.
I try to go in and
Yeah, you're
answer
good about
questions.
it. I think
I
about
do
it too much.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to let these people who are clearly just angry about something or insecure or jealous of something and write mean things with like no context.
I
to it.
got done watching your recap of the Paris trip, and I was like almost emotionally moved. Not almost. I was emotionally moved. I thought there was a couple of reasons why I thought it was a special thing to watch. And if you haven't watched it, maybe go check it out. Megan,
Don't leave a mean comment.
Yeah, Megan went out there on her own. There weren't a ton of people invited to this event. It was a very select few people invited.
Like Runner's World, New York Times,
Sidious.
Mag, Emily Abate. That was about it.
Yeah.
And I was proud of her for that she got access to and was able to go and see it. But you did a really good job of capturing like the content. And it's tough. Like normally, like in Western states, I have Carl there. We're all like, I'll take some footage. Carl will take some footage. Even Taylor, everybody we get photos from Justin. We can all bring it together and kind of give a good idea of what happened.
Exactly, yeah.
But Meg was on her own, and she did some things that I'd never thought of that were really great, like including Emily Abate in the recap, including Jeff Dengate in it, getting him to talk
that's cool.
on the thing. And it was like, oh, wow, that's neat. You made it inclusive. You showed what it was like to be there. You brought in a little bit of your personality so that people could kind of know what hanging out with Megan would be like in Paris. And I thought, wow, this is great. And the very first comment was like a troll dude being like, this is a worthless,
Yeah.
And I was just
This
like,
adds nothing of value.
yeah, I'm just like, what's wrong with people? Like,
why are you watching it? It's weird. Like, why would you waste if you know you're gonna hate it? Why would you waste your time doing that?
That's the craziest part is, especially and on like reviews, someone will be like, this is a piece of shit shoe. And it's like, well, why did you watch this review? Like, you clearly came into this with that mindset.
And usually they hadn't run in it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Well, I also
99%.
love like people that will comment, how like if we have an affiliation or if we've done something with a brand that we can't be unbiased or something, and then I'll be like, go watch the person that you think is unbiased, and then watch our review. And is anything different? Like, did we say something different than they said about the shoe?
Right.
And it's like, to me, there is just this anger out there.
I mean, people that live in that wash cycle, rinse and repeat of just negativity, and I'm like, man, like that's a sad way to spend your existence.
I know you should be looking for coins and stuff on your run,
Yeah, dude.
or
Seriously, though, I think if more people were active and running, they wouldn't be so angry. So just get out
well,
there.
that's what
move
Ilya
your
Kipchoge
bodies.
says. He says that if everybody ran, there'd be world peace.
I agree.
It's probably true.
Yeah, we'd be too tired to fight.
I mean,
Fighting over the element.
yeah,
No, you got it. I'm going to sit here and cool off.
that's probably true.
I will tell you that this week though, I don't know how you guys are doing on your mileage, but like, I think my sweet spot for high mileage is right around 50.
That's pretty good.
I get tired. I don't get cranky, but
Yeah.
it's definitely, I feel like I'm reaching. And then of course I live with someone who you turn around with. Meg, what was your mileage this week?
70 something.
Yeah. Right.
Like another half of what I've done. It's like,
Yeah, I'm at I think I did 35 last week, which is actually the most I've done in a while. And so that was usually I'm in the 25 to 30 range, but I was like, okay, that's great. I'll try to go 5 miles a day. And
how do you feel?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I don't have any problems doing that.
I don't want to jinx you, but this, I know you complained about a little bit of planner or something going on.
Oh yeah,
Did you use the foam, not the foam, but the little ball roller from?
I did use that. Yeah, not like every day, but I've used it on a few occasions.
Have you
yeah.
noticed any improvement?
Yeah, I don't know if it's directly tied to that, but I definitely have. It's gotten better. I will say I haven't done a speed workout. I've been holding off on that, and or like an aggressive shoe. So I've just kind of been wearing daily trainers and stuff, and it's actually feels a lot better.
So you see, this is a argument a lot of people have, is plated shoes, yes or no? You seem to think that.
I don't know if that's actually why or not,
Okay.
but just naturally you want to go faster in a plated shoe, so I just try to stay away from that. And it does seem to have gotten better, but yeah, I was telling you I did a barefoot race against this 9-year-old girl. my family.
Wait. You are related or know this girl in somehow? It wasn't
Yeah, it's like
you
my
just,
cousin's.
threw down.
It's like my cousin's daughter, and I thought she was like 12 or something. Turns out she was 9. Like a 12-year-old, I don't mind beating. I feel like they're about to,
Or losing to.
they're like not too far away from learning some hard facts in life. So if I can beat them, I'll beat them. But a 9-year-old, I didn't find out till after the fact. My son's also 9, and anyways, I did a foot race, and I had to really actually work hard to pull it out and win in the end. But they were super fast. I was like, you need to go into track. But anyways, all that to say that it triggered my plantar pain. It was not a good idea to run barefoot in the grass for 100 yards or whatever.
See, I think this happens to every dad at some point.
It does.
So, like, there was a few years ago when I had no doubt that I would beat my boys in a foot race.
Right.
And then I remember one time, this is the last time I decided to race them, that I had to do that. Like, I had to pull out everything to stay in front.
Yeah.
And I think my hamstring got a little messed up.
Yeah.
And I think that's the last time I was like, okay, next time I run against these kids, they're probably going to take
I
me.
think I have 1 year. I think by next year it'll be over. But we had a good run.
It was a good run. It was a good run. Wait till they get in. You think your boys will get into track at all?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely my oldest will. Right.
Yeah.
He will.
That's when it got humbling for me. It's like Theo can just rock it now, and I'm just like, psh,
Yeah.
I like faster than I've ever been.
Yeah, it's insane. But, and lastly, no fireworks injuries were had this 4th of
Oh.
July. It was...
Nice.
I did check how many fingers you had when you came in
Yeah.
on Monday.
Yeah, it got a little dicey. I had this huge Roman candle that I was shooting off, and it had a kick to it because it was a pretty big Roman candle. And it dropped. It fell out of my hand mid onto the ground mid firing, and I had to orient it properly within like 3 seconds. It was a very MacGyver type situation.
How did you do that?
I just had look. Like as though pointing back to like everyone else, and I just picked it up and turned it around, and we were good. But it was
You could have gotten a Purple Heart for that.
yeah. Oh yeah, it was like picking up the grenade with the lynch or the firing pin out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all good. We had some good times. No humans were injured.
What did George think of the fireworks?
He was in at my parents' house, so I think he was generally okay. Their dogs kind of freak out, but
Yeah, just in case you haven't been listening, George is Robbie's new dog that has massive paws.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
Is he getting bigger?
Yeah. We'll have
Dude, he's
to-
bigger. He was like 2 times the size last time I saw him.
I haven't seen him in a few days.
It's a real Clifford type situation on our hands.
Big red dog.
Yeah. Like I didn't believe Clifford the Big Red Dog, growing up or reading it to my kids, but now I actually think it might be based on a true story.
What do you think about the kid with the purple crown?
How do you say that word?
Crayon?
How you say it though?
I said crown.
Is that how you actually say it?
That time.
Yeah, are you saying crayon or crown?
I'm saying crayon.
Okay.
I say crayon because that's I don't know.
Crane?
Crayon.
But see, that's the problem. I also know
Crayon.
crayon Americans.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's based on a true story. But they tried to make it look like it because I think they made a real life movie about it.
That kid was cool.
Because he just drew whatever and then it came.
Wanted a rocket, draws a rocket, took off.
Seems a little too easy.
It did, but
I feel like you could do some questionable.
with AI,
Yeah, just imagine when that dude turns 13, what kind of stuff he was drawing. But also, yeah, just droning whole civilizations with your drawings.
yeah.
Drone drawings.
Speaking of weird stuff,
Oh, jeez.
I ran by the ice cream truck and I posted pictures of it.
We didn't throw those up on the
Okay.
podcast.
People didn't believe me when I said it was the creepiest truck ever.
The biggest comment I got was, "I never imagined it was this bad."
You can't.
Like I can't. Like, you know, I usually post a story or something. Sometimes you try to post something that you think will be of interest to people, and you get a couple comments. This one all day yesterday, people were pinging me
Yeah.
and being like, "No way, this is a real thing." And then you think about there's people who don't listen to the podcast, don't know why I posted
Right.
several photos of Mr. Tasty.
Well-
and they're like, "What is this, dude?"
Well, and then I was telling you, there's been a huge controversy with him because apparently he's a very aggressive to the other vendors, an ice cream vendor to the other vendors. And there's been multiple reports on him harassing other people, threatening them
jeez.
physically. So people are calling him Mr. Nasty. Someone said he's like, it's like an episode of Seinfeld. He's like a menace to the park. And it's just like nobody knows.
Wait, but there's 4 trucks, so he can't be driving all of them.
Well, he can't, but
You've seen
probably
his
those,
kids.
Those kids are probably grown up by now. Like, what's
true.
it's nature versus nurture.
Junior Tasty the third.
Dude. Yeah. So, anyways, if you are in Baltimore, don't support Mr.
Tasty.
Tasty because he's
I don't know why you're trying to bring that drama to yourself. Because
Yeah.
if he finds out you said that, your kid's playing that park all the time.
that is true.
Take it back.
I'd be careful. You don't know what kind of connections he
The
has.
ice cream mafia, dude. I
Yeah.
would not mess with them.
That's right.
He's got 4 trucks, dude. He's probably selling something else too.
You could find yourself on ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Seriously.
Well, that place under the bridge, that's where they get all their ice from too. Yeah. I might have a run-in with them there.
Have you ever purchased ice from there?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where you go to get ice in Baltimore.
It is, except for the last time we had a party, I just went to BJ's.
Yeah.
It's probably ice from there, just moved over to BJ's.
It's crazy cheap though. If you get it from there.
We are going to have a ice cream truck at the Grit Party August 2nd.
Are we really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that actually happened.
Yeah.
It's not Mr. Tasty.
No, but it's a
Thank
soft
God.
serve ice cream. So if you come, you can drink beers, drink ice cream, or eat ice cream.
Did you say the date?
Fun. August 2nd.
Yeah, so it's like a celebration of Grit, since Grit will technically be over.
We kind of flip flop. Normally we're throwing you're getting your swag after
Yeah.
Grit and having the party during. This time the party's going to be after. But it just so happens, I mean, we got a lot of travel. Meg, where are you headed off to?
Seattle this weekend, and then Monterey the following week, and New York.
Yeah, we're doing a couple things in New York.
Yeah.
Seattle, Monterey, and New York.
Yeah, I'm going to pop in and see the Brooks team in Seattle, so that'll be cool. I've never been to their headquarters. We're doing an event with On in New York and an event with New Balance in New York. The 22nd for On and the 27th for New Balance.
Something with the fuel cell Rebel.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more details on all of these events posted soon. But just to give everyone a heads up to mark their calendars.
Yeah, I was putting together just my calendar for general, like, hey, here's where I'm going to be out. Dude, we got a lot of travel coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
You guys, especially, yeah.
yeah, well, you're going to Leadville.
Yeah.
You're going to help crew Taylor.
Yeah, are you crewing, Taylor?
Am I?
If you
Like,
can
do
see
you
the
think you'll
face
run with
Robbie
him?
just made.
What, do I think I run with them?
So, like, sometimes when you go out and crew, you run a few, 10,
You give me one of those
10,
one
11
wheels.
miles.
Yeah.
No, but like mile 90, you could probably keep up with him.
See, and
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe in the real like doldrums of the night, like 877 to
when
78.
he's hallucinating.
Yeah.
Mile 77 to 78. I'll be there for you, buddy.
I've always thought I could crew until I saw Western States, and maybe I could crew somebody who was not being competitive. But even these guys who were like in mile 62, they were running a good 7:40-minute mile or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, think about it. If you average an 8:30-minute mile, yeah, you're cruising
I
when
think-
you're not stopped.
Yeah, I was seeing I forget, I don't know if it was Caleb Olson or whoever was saying how much time elapsed time was spent with the crew stations. And if you think about it, it's basically a NASCAR pit stop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that, however much time you spend at a crew station is vital. I mean, that could be the difference. Like if it's a 4-minute win, like that's the difference. Is just people
Eating
getting
a
your
burrito.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting way to look at it.
Did you? Speaking of which, we spoke to Ben Gibbard,
Yeah, from lead singer of Death Cab for Cutie.
which
Name dropping.
It still blows my mind. Like the fact that we talked to a dude who I probably listened to. I don't know how many times I listened to.
Like
his
one of my
music, but
yeah,
it was on
same.
repeat at a certain period of time in my life.
Yes, one of my musical idols, really. I think Transatlanticism is in my top 5 albums, like legitimately.
Huh?
But then, because it was just a certain time in my life. But anyways, we recorded a podcast with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's coming out soon.
And he ran Western States. And the way he described even like the care, like he's stopping and getting his toes taped and stuff because like they're all blistered up because you're wet the whole time. Because
I was wondering how they avoid the chafing because, like, you're just getting water dumped
think
on
they
them, and like
all
I would
so
just be
hot.
so poorly chafed.
yeah, you would be because it's that like at least here, like once you get wet, you stay wet.
But
there,
you
I think
dry
it's.
out.
I think there it's that it probably evaporates off you so quick.
yeah.
And like I mean, like the whatever lube you're trying to use is just gonna be gone.
What's your favorite lube?
I just used a jar of Vaseline,
Yeah.
old school. You use the fancy what was
I
it?
do. I use the
Shemin butter. What is it called?
chamois butter.
Chamois butter.
Chamois.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
chamois butter.
Wow.
Chamois butter.
I typically use Glide, but we did get some free samples of the chamois butter, and I've used it for cycling. But they have the stick form now.
Yeah.
It works pretty well. Now the only problem is that it's a little bit softer than like Glide lasts a long time, I think. But this stuff, I think I'm going through it pretty quick. Either
Okay.
that, it's so hot out that I'm just
probably.
lathering up.
That could be.
All right, second check-in. It's still summertime. You're still feeling the heat. I wish I could give you some techniques or tips to feel better in the heat. The only thing I could say is just keep drinking, keep hydrating, and getting those electrolytes in. But if you are listening to this and you already went out on your run and you didn't get those electrolytes in before the run, you're a little screwed. So stop at a 7-Eleven or something and grab yourself some electrolyte drinks.
All right, this episode is also sponsored by LMNT, our favorite salty beverage this summer.
I'm guzzling this stuff right now.
You actually are. Like every morning, he's making a giant jug of LMNT and then another one in the afternoon.
I actually made 2. I made a handheld for my run. Like I know I'm not probably supposed to have 3 to 6,000 milligrams of salt a day, but I'm doing it, and I haven't seen an adverse effect yet, except for I don't remember anything.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's necessary in this heat and humidity of summer. So if you don't have LMNT, you need to get on that. And you can get a sample pack, which includes 8 of their drink mix packets, 4 of their top flavors. So get your 8-count LMNT sample pack with any purchase at drinklmnt.com/thedrop. That's drinklmnt.com/thedrop.
And I think I got to try that mango chili again because our buddy John Ober says that that's one of his favorite flavors. He said we're maligning it and we should give it another shot.
All right. I like it.
You heard it here.
I remember the one year when we ran the New York City Marathon when it was really hot. I remember just pouring water on my head and that just going straight into the New Balance SC Elites, like the V2, I think.
Which kind of has a
The
more
knit.
sweatery.
Yeah, like a knit upper type thing. And man, those things were just so squishy, like by halfway through, or because it does just pour. If you're not careful, you just pour it over your head. It goes straight down to your shoes.
Yeah. Well, that's
Like
the
the
nice
water
thing
and
is
sweat.
Skechers says on their shoes they're machine washable.
I do say that.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. I want to ask you another thing, but I forget about it now. Westerns. Anyways.
You were
But
going to
so
Leadville.
in Leadville, you
Oh.
may or may not be crewing
Right.
Taylor.
Was that an expectation?
I mean, I think that if you're going out there,
I will, but
Yeah.
I don't want to cost him a top 10 finish or something.
Yeah, no. What I would probably do is when he comes in different aid stations, if you're there, you would just be dressed and ready to go if he wants company for a little bit, and you just see how far you can go.
Dude, you're gonna find me dead in some pass like a freaking.
It'd be like one of those cattle skulls on the side
Yeah,
of the desert. Except for it's Robbie.
Bugs Bunny be wearing my head everywhere when he's trying to.
Do you guys think that since Taylor's doing Leadville 100 and then a week and a half later he's going to be with you both running the ETC, do you think that levels the playing field, or do you still think he's above?
I would be curious how he's gonna feel. Like,
Because this is only his second 100, right?
I was gonna
think
say,
so, yeah.
he's done one before.
I mean, he's run some 100Ks, but yeah.
He's also a billy goat.
yeah, but this is a week later,
Week and a half, yeah.
week and a half.
If he can run down the escarpment after eating a full sausage burrito,
That was
I think.
okay. That was nuts. It really was like, and I didn't realize how much nuts because I thought he ate the burrito and then we ran, but he's still chewing it as we're starting the rundown. Like you can see it in the video. And I'm like, oh wow, he really was just finishing as we started our descent.
Yeah.
That makes
And
you uncomfortable just thinking about it.
I gotta say, the rundown is fantastic. Like,
looked cool.
If we go again next year,
Yeah, I'll go down.
do the rundown. It felt like, you know how long it feels going up? It feels like nothing going down.
Well, we
Like
went
you're just
down
done.
when we came down the escarpment. Like,
Yeah, but we did
I know it
some
didn't really
weird,
count.
like cutting through
yeah,
crappy fields
You
and
rolled
stuff.
your ankle.
Yeah.
Then all right, I'll do it next year.
Yeah, but it was a lot more fun than going up. Matter of fact, the real race should be tramming you up to the high point and then you racing down.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Right?
That sounds like injuries for everyone. Just
Yeah.
flying down the mountain.
Did it during the
That-
11K that we did.
That reminds me of Jane's addiction when you said that. Flying down the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's, the other thing I want to ask you, Meg, was when you're in Seattle, can you look into this? There's this book that came out recently.
I left a pair of glasses by a nightstand.
I'm going to be on Bainbridge Island for most of it.
Okay, that might work.
Okay.
So I guess there's this book that came out recently that has this theory that, you know how in the 70s there's a lot of serial killers that came from Seattle area or like the Pacific Northwest?
Okay, so far I don't like this.
Okay, it's cool. They're all dead, I think, or in jail. But like Charles Manson, Ted Bundy, and another one were all from like the same neighborhood, basically. So there's this theory that there was a lot of environmental pollution or lead poisoning in these areas, and it basically made people go crazy, which is why a lot of the serial killers from back then came from there. So can you like do some detective work and see if that's why?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I will spend my time doing in Seattle.
But do you like when you grew? So you're a little bit older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Was there still, especially out in California?
Yeah, we had a lot.
Especially
growing
out in
up.
California, was that a thing where you were like,
We were
people,
aware of
like,
it.
Look out for all the killers.
It was when I was younger, but like I'm not exactly sure when the Zodiac was, but
Right.
I was born in the 70s.
I think you're probably alive.
Yeah, so when I was living out in the San Francisco area, it was like 72 to into the 80s.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so the Hillside Strangler, the Zodiac Killer, all those guys. But then like also in the movies, like you would go, like my dad used to take me to the inappropriate movies, but there's like this one Time After Time that was about Jack the Ripper going,
Oh, shit.
and he's in San Francisco, and it might have been Sigourney Weaver that he was like
Really?
in a murder or something. Yeah. So all that stuff was big then.
So did that not freak you out as a kid, or were you just like, oh,
No, it was like the Boogeyman.
that's so wild. I can't imagine living back then, especially as a woman. Like, how would you not be freaked out all the time?
Well, you don't
Like-
think about that, but like, yeah, there was no like to get to a phone
Right.
or something, like you'd have to dial. You'd have to have.
The fact that people even would pick up a hitchhiker at that point, knowing that
It's possible.
is a thing, is crazy to me.
And every movie was about that. There was the hitcher.
Right.
Like, stuff, yeah.
Like it was like, maybe it was so pervasive that you're just like, well, this is life. What are you going to do? I don't know.
Mm.
But
What's the equivalent to that these days? Like, what's something that is crazy?
Probably
that-
TikTok.
That people. Yeah, I mean, it might be like putting yourself out there.
I mean, that actually, in a way, because that is a lot of what, I guess that's how what people do now, or creepers. That's where they are,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that'd be a good horror movie.
I did look up because I was wondering how many serial killers like there were then to today, and it's like there was like 300
Well, you could
active ones in the 70s. Now there's like 50.
also easier to get away with back then.
Oh yeah,
No cameras.
right.
Like, if you did get a photograph, someone you had to take it to the photo hut,
Yeah.
get it developed. Nowadays, like
Yeah.
you have like the door cams, all that stuff. I think it'd be
That's the one good. Yeah, people always talk about how great the olden days were. I'm like, I don't know, man.
a lot of us serial killers were like, yeah, those were great days.
Yeah, those are the only people saying it.
Yeah. Boy, back in my day, you could really slice someone up in the privacy. Now you'd be out in the trail, some dude with a GoPro will show up
Yeah,
while,
I mean,
while you're loading your trunk of body parts.
Trail cams everywhere. Yep. But, anyways, so Meg's
can't-
gonna
yeah.
figure
Yeah, Meg's
that
gonna do
out.
that for you guys and
Yeah.
report back next week.
I'll let you know what I find.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing.
It is weird though, right? Like, why is so many from one area of the country? Why? That's weird.
You were correct in that the theories could be lead poisoning.
Okay.
They said environmental factors, but it's also like it's probably likely 1,000 things.
Yeah, for sure. But I was thinking about that in regards to Baltimore too, even because Baltimore is one of the worst cities for lead poisoning in the country. Maybe that also plays into the whole wave of crime, like
Well-
just part of it. Obviously not the main
Which
cause.
wave of crime?
Yeah, the one over the last 50 years.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Wait till like we're gonna get lead poisoning here.
Well, no, not anymore. But
Lead paint was a big thing.
Yeah, that was the big thing, dating back to because there's a huge settlement.
Well,
that
I
they
do
had.
think about. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, everybody's talking about microplastics and everybody's talking about
Sugar.
aluminums and all that stuff. And
artificial dyes.
I'm like, my dad probably ingested a ton of this stuff. He had like a dementia later in life. But I'm like, what are we doing now that we don't know about
Right.
that is
That's what
gonna
I'm saying.
screw us?
Yeah.
Because there's definitely stuff that we were like, oh no, it's fine. You can microwave everything. It's like,
I mean, honestly, sometimes I think about I do think about that. Like, obviously, these give off radiation,
Yeah.
to a certain degree, and of course, everyone's like, "Oh, it's totally fine."
we're living in Wi-Fi
but
everywhere.
yeah, but who knows? Like in 40 years, you don't know. It could be like what they were just like
Bathing in it.
Remember the radium we talked about?
Yeah.
The radium girls who would dip the paintbrushes on their tongues to paint the glow stuff on watches.
Yeah.
It's like their jaws are falling off. That's at the time they're like, yeah, that's totally fine. You can do that.
Well, it's nice that one of the nicest areas in Baltimore now is built on the toxic waste dump that
Right.
they had. What was it? 30 years they had to wait until they could build on it,
Yeah.
or something like that.
And supposedly it was remedied. I'm sure
Yeah.
T-Row price money will.
I will tell you
Get that
now,
pass.
running past that T-Row price, if you catch it at the right moment because it has a circular door, the air conditioning, you can get a nice blast when you go in front of it. So I try to run as close to those doors
Nice.
That's a
as
good one.
possible.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Or just wear the Amias headband.
You could do that
Good
too.
to go.
Well, I don't want to.
Have you been wearing that more?
No.
Oh.
And in fact, I regretted not putting it on this morning in the middle of my run. I was like, why am I not wearing it?
Meg did a workout today outside.
Nice.
Dude.
Did you hit it?
I mean, I'm just kind of doing whatever I want. So sure, I nailed it.
All right.
But what were the paces?
I don't even recall. I did some
Let me
400s
pull it
at
up.
like 540s and then a couple miles at 630.
Modest man.
What are you, Modest Meg? I like that. What are you doing? Are you actually have a fall plan?
No.
Really?
I have a thought in my mind
Okay.
of what I want to do. I don't want to do the majors. I don't want to race the majors. I will likely run New York City Marathon like I always do with a GoPro,
Okay.
waving my hands in the air.
With feathers, is she gonna run?
I think so. I think that'll be her comeback
Nice.
marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. And then there's a race in December that I'm thinking about racing.
Oh, JFK 50 mile.
It's a 26.2 mile road event.
So, Robbie, we're talking about. I'm thinking Chicago, and then New York. But Chicago would be like the one I would train for and have effort in, and it'll probably be the hottest day of the year.
Okay.
And then New York, I'm thinking we run that kind of for fun, knowing that 3 weeks later we have the JFK 50. So for me, that's
Yeah.
I would need to be doing a long run anyway.
Right.
So why not collect
Well,
a
and
medal?
I think the idea was to do a 4-hour pace group.
4-hour pace group for New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Meg was running a couple 646 miles and then a couple 630s in there.
In this heat, it was.
So you 2 mile repeats? Is that what you're doing?
Oh no, those were 400s.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways,
What-
that's what it turned out to be.
What's the heat today and the humidity?
I don't know, but it was pretty spicy. It says at the time it said felt like 78 degrees, but that
No
that's-
way, dude.
Yeah, humidity 87%.
Yeah, 78 would have been
Yeah, it
would have
was-
felt great.
I don't
Yeah.
think Strava needs to
Update.
use that running money to get that weather
The real
weather
weather, yeah.
stats.
Well, they
updated.
also use like the exact time that you start the run is like the weather. So if you're out there for 2 hours, there's like 10 to 15 degrees
That's true.
increase.
I'm starting to think that I'm starting to see backlash against Runna.
Oh yeah,
Because everyone's getting injured.
That
yeah.
That-
Who published that?
the one woman that was the I don't know if she's a nutritionist or a PT.
Oh yeah,
I think she's a PT.
Oh, Dr. Lisa. Or
Yeah,
someone?
Dr. Lisa. I think she's PT, and she did a post about how because it's not like a real person interacting with you to figure out.
I've been testing it, not following it per se, but they have a strength training part to it. So I've been doing 2 strength training workouts a week.
Whoa.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Wait.
Right?
What?
Right?
Yeah,
Alright.
she's getting jacked.
Feels like an accomplishment. They take like 25 minutes each, and it's mostly body weight.
Okay.
But it's something.
I never thought
I
I'd
mean-
see the day.
Yeah.
What
Wow.
the heck?
Speaking of working out, have you been keeping up, Robbie?
No. Absolutely not. No, I did go to the gym last week once, but my back was still kind of messed up. It's feeling pretty good now, so I think I'll get back into the swing of things.
Dude,
I was just super nervous about
Doing
retriggering
it.
it, so I think we're good. I did some upper body last week.
I felt so rusty this morning because I went last night and lifting heavier than like going up, and it's the deadlifts, man. They my lower back and
Yeah.
that, like when I'm running, I can feel it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That takes a lot out of you.
yeah. But I still think it works. And
Oh, it definitely. I think since I haven't done it like legs in like a month or something, I feel like because that's how long it's been since.
Wow.
I felt like my ankles
What-
started to feel a little more wobbly.
what did you do?
I was doing a squat and it was just too much, and my form was really bad, and I was kind of trying to rush it.
Did you panic when you were trying to get up?
A little bit probably, and then I just like everything went out of line, and I just
Pinch something?
pulled a muscle in my back, or
Oh,
just
geez.
did something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like we talked about, like I've had problems with it for a long time. So, back when I was 6'4", before the trampoline. Yeah. So, I definitely feel like I need to get back to it though, because I don't feel quite as strong.
It's weird. There's a moment when you're lifting that when I feel like I've reached like almost a point where I can't. There's a little bit of panic button that goes
Yeah, I
off
know.
in
I
your
hate
head.
that feeling.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
definitely a lot of self doubt that creeps in.
Yeah. But
Yeah. even before I do it sometimes. But yeah, it'll be good to go back.
Like yesterday, when I was going to the gym, it was like I really didn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, I don't want to go. You know, it's not going to be like fun.
Yeah.
It's like hard.
Yeah.
But like it's somewhat like running on the days you don't want to run.
Yeah.
Like I finished up and I felt pretty good, and then like this morning before my run, I felt pretty strong. But during the run, man, today I was like a little wiped.
All right. Should we talk about these shoes?
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So Robbie, you ran. Both of us have now run. Meg, you haven't done it yet.
I haven't worn the Skechers Aero Tempo yet.
Have you worn the big one? Not the Spark, but the.
I wore the Spark. I didn't wear the. What was it called?
Shoot.
The Spark was nice.
It was good.
Do you
I
have?
felt like it went a little long.
Do you have the big one?
I think so.
I feel like you might need to wear it.
I like it.
Eric Floberg's been wearing it lately.
It was weird. He did like 6-minute miles in it,
Yeah.
which
It's at a Daily Trainer.
yeah.
It is. It's just. I will say the Aero Spark, which it's a $130 shoe. I actually ran like 30 miles in that shoe. It was. I thought it was pretty good for what it was.
A Samurai reviewer really liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. The problem that I had with it was the length fit. It kind of has a tube style upper,
Yeah.
and it was a little long. But let's get to the Aero Tempo that I'm holding here. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like a $170 shoe. So Skechers has three kind of core shoes in their overhaul, I guess, because they basically
In the
took
Aero line.
yeah
Aero
the
Spark.
line. They basically took a year off.
Aero Spark, Aero Burst, Aero Tempo.
Yeah.
Right, so Aero Burst is the big
Yeah.
one.
Design-wise.
Which is so confusing because their foam is called Hyper Burst, and there's a whole thing. But
You could write an entire paper on naming.
yeah, this one actually looks pretty good.
It looks good. I will say that Skechers overall this last round has improved the aesthetic of their shoe.
Oh yeah, and I think they even modified the logo a little bit so it's not so dorky.
Yeah, elongated it and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd let you hold this, but I can smell my sweat in it
That's
from
fine.
yesterday
Gross.
because I ran in the goop with it.
I'm actually a little bit more interested. Please pass it this way.
Oh, gross.
Take a big huff of that.
Oh yeah, that smells like a watermelon element.
Yeah, you can.
It looks like a watermelon.
Like I said, they put a tag on that said machine washable. So
Yeah.
if you do want to get down with that,
Skechers doing their best to not be cool, putting a machine washable tag on the
hey,
laces.
here's our speed shoe for 170, machine washable.
But I will say, I ran in this shoe last night. Now look, I wasn't doing tempo paces, but the problem that I really had with this shoe is that there was so much heel lift in it that I was like, I can't imagine even running fast in this.
See, that's the thing. I ended up running it like it was a clog. So like if you get your foot forward enough.
Totally. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the fit while I was running, even though there's heel lift, wasn't horrible because it almost feels like there's no bag to the shoe.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty rigid shoe right there.
Does that have the H plate, or is it because I don't see any carbon infused
It does.
writing on the side?
It does have it. And it has their Hyperburst.
2 hyperbursts.
What's the Hyperburst Pro, I think? Is there more higher end? There's a supercritical one, and
They're both super critical.
they're both supercritical, but it's just regular Hyperburst, I think, and then Hyperburst Pro. Does it say on there, Megan?
It says it on the box.
It just says Hyperburst midsole cushioning for that one.
When you
Okay.
open the box, though, no, it had two things on the lid.
But the problem is that
sorry, the sock liner for all
Oh.
is Hyperburst Pro.
okay, that's what it was.
Oh, so it's just a sock liner?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can see it's only one density, I think, of one foam. But except for this part, but the heel collar here is so shallow.
I'm finding that with a lot of like fast shoes.
I don't know if they're trying to save weight or what they're doing, but
I don't like it.
no, because you already have a rigid plate or midsole, usually a plate in faster shoes. Then you have this low slung heel collar. It's just you're just asking for heel lift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this one I felt it particularly, and it was weird because you tried it on. Like I was like maybe it was just me because then Ryan Haynes, who's a co-editor with you or assistant editor to you, He tried it on. He was like, I don't.
To be fair, he just went outside the office and like ran down the block.
Right, but I
would
felt
notice.
heel lift.
Yeah.
Just trying it on. So I thought maybe it was just me. Now, when I was running, like I said, you kind of get into a clog or mule, I guess is what it's called, where you have the front felt pretty nice and secure, and it just was loose on the back. And since I'm a midfoot to forefoot, it didn't really bother me. But what did, the foam on it is not, it's not right.
Is it not squishy?
Right. It's kind of just there. It's a little dense. It's not firm. It's just a
What was the latest Zoom Fly that came out?
Zoomfly 6 is the newest one.
Zoom Fly 6 we liked. And they kind of like worked with the tuning of the foams. This one has a blocky feel
Of the previous
of the
versions?
previous version, which some people really liked.
I thought it was a little bit better, but okay. But I see what you're saying.
Some people really like it, and I would even say that some people might like this, but with the issues with the upper, I think it's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. And I laced. You didn't lace yours up the whole way. I laced mine up the whole way too.
Wait, it's not? Do
No.
you mean? Oh,
The
you mean
top eyelet?
you mean the lace lock? I didn't do lace lock.
Well, yeah, but you didn't even. I mean, not even to the last.
Yeah, but I never go into the lace lock hole.
Well, you can. You can still do it without lace locking. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, but do you use that normally?
No, not normally, but
Okay.
it's still. I'm saying you should try it with that just to make sure. too.
Yeah.
But even with that, I couldn't get it good lockdown. And the grip is good with the Goodyear rubber.
Yeah, the grip was great.
No problems there. But the thing is, it's $170. So I'm like, there's a Zoom Fly 6 for the same price, or what, $10 more?
Well, that's a problem.
Are
is-
you gonna buy this?
I think it's a proposition for Skechers, but they're not seen as a top tier brand in running.
Right.
And so what you would do is if you had a good quality product at maybe a lower cost, then you could be like, okay, well, it makes sense to go with the Skechers.
Yeah.
But 170, there's so many other choices.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to convince people.
I mean,
This podcast isn't helping.
Yeah. You wore this shoe. Like, would you take this over our $150 shoes that we
Right, like the Evo SL or even the Nova Blast.
the Mizuno, not the Neo Vista, but the Neo Zen.
Yeah, I don't think.
Fuel Cell Rebel.
Because it wasn't like, how much does that weigh too, by the way?
No,
it wasn't especially light.
No, it's not light
You've
at
got
all.
a bunch of sweat on there too.
No, it's not. It's dry.
Okay.
This is from yesterday that I
Yeah.
sweat. The
I just-
stink is from
I
a
just-
day old.
Just all came out of my
Yeah,
head.
I mean, that's close to 10 ounces. It's 9.5.
Right. So.
And
not-
that's for our gram people. That's 269 grams.
Yeah, so not terrible, but not light. Like
Yeah.
a lightweight tempo shoe, really.
Yeah, for tempo. I actually think the Spark should have been called the Tempo.
Yeah, I liked that shoe quite
And this
a bit.
one could be the Spark. Like, light it on fire.
Yeah.
It almost seems unnecessary. Like, it seems like the Burst is good, comfortable, cushiony, and the Spark is that like lighter weight, faster feeling, and this one sort of misses the mark.
Is it?
Stop
Yeah.
smelling your shoe.
Does it smell
You know
good?
what? I have to say, in the weight, there's still moisture down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very hot and sweaty yesterday.
So gross.
Oh, Meg, take a whiff.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But,
All right,
yeah.
so let's talk about this other shoe.
The weight might be a little bit off.
See if that'll re-energize you.
Mm.
Suck that up with a straw.
Final check-in. Like the weather, I'm not going to give you any hope. This is it. You're dragging out. You're finishing up. It's been a long run. Just finish this out. Just think of cool ice water or something that you can drink when you get back to the house, and it's going to taste so good. Nothing's better than a cold glass of water in the summertime, so enjoy. This week's episode is sponsored by SWIFTWICK. We love their socks, and they have a new offering out. I like the white and the black, but you know what? Sometimes you need a high-vis yellow, and that's what you're getting with the new Flight XT high-vis yellow. They've got all the bells and whistles. This is like the premium SWIFTWICK sock. Meg, am I missing stuff? Like, what are the fibers?
It is their most technologically
Easy for you to
advanced
say.
style.
Yeah.
Has cool stuff like moderate compression. You know, they're using all the best materials.
Yeah, and I mean, I love all their socks. This one has the more cushioning if you want that. So now it comes in the high vis yellow. I like to pair these with some of those bright shoes, Robbie. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, if you just or with a muted shoe so you can stand out.
Yeah.
So the socks
A little-
can really
a little
stand
pop.
out.
It's
Yeah.
almost like having one of those road construction workers on each ankle as you run through the streets.
Perfect.
So yeah, if you want to snag a pair, Drop listeners get 15% off their purchase with code BELIEVE15 at checkout. Just go to swiftwick.com/collections/believe.
All right, now on the flip side, okay, every once in a while, an apparel company comes out with a running shoe.
It's kind of insane that we're doing a podcast with Skechers and Satisfy in the same shoe segment.
Crazy.
The other spectrum.
Crossover.
This is by far, without a doubt, the best entry into the shoe market from an apparel brand.
Okay.
Hands down. I can't think of any other shoe.
Lululemon. I'm still going. Rabbit.
I was gonna say the Rabbit.
Who else have we got?
Tracksmith.
Tracksmith.
Tracksmith wasn't bad, but
Yeah.
it wasn't great for the first Elliott.
For the Elliott runner.
That's all I can think
All
of.
right.
Okay, to
this-
be fair, they have a distinct advantage with who they're using for their designers and stuff.
Wait, you're saying that nobody else could have gotten a good designer? You're entering the shoe market. You want to do a premium shoe. I'm
don't know if-
telling you, this, by far, there's not even anybody close.
Yeah.
And you might be satisfied with this. No, this is a really good shoe across the board. Like if this came out from an established trail brand, I would be like, this is
Yeah.
this is
That
good.
makes sense.
So-
I think they are more in tune with also the trail. Like, I think they have better connections and they have backing, financial backing, and good like they have a higher I would say more of a budget, which is all advantageous.
I don't know that, but I'll go with you if you say that.
All right.
Like you're telling Ralphie didn't like that.
Like Rabbit's not going to come swinging out of the gates with a $280 trail shoe.
What about Tracksmith though?
Tracksmith,
How much was the Tracksmith shoe?
It was $200, the road shoe.
Yeah.
I feel like Tracksmith, I would say they probably could have done a little bit better on that Elliott runner.
Okay, Lululemon, they don't have money.
They've got funding for sure.
I don't.
I'll tell you.
No, I'm not saying like
one other,
you're not
I'll
right.
give you
I'm
one
just saying
other
some of
apparel.
the other running
I'll
brands.
give you one other apparel
are just-
company
Okay.
that will blow your mind. Under Armour.
Oh yeah, they're. I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah. All this to say,
I meant more like
this-
independent brands.
this shoe, regardless of, whatever, is one of the best entry shoes I've ever tried.
Yeah, I believe it.
But where does it fall overall trail running?
I think it's in a pretty good spot. Now, here's the only caveat I'm going to put to that. This year, I've probably run in 3 or 4 different trail models. I've run in the Prodigio Pro, which I really liked. I've run in some of the Hoka models, the Mafate. I've run in the
Fate X.
yeah. No, I didn't run the Mafate
Oh.
X. I ran the regular Mafate.
Oh, okay.
The
Norda.
Norda
05.
05, phenomenal shoe.
Yeah.
And the T1 from
Mount the Coast.
Mount Coast. Probably a couple other ones, but those are the main ones that I feel like are really good. Closest one to this one that I would probably compare is the T1 from Mount Coast,
Okay,
which
yeah.
is also their first entry into trail, so it's pretty impressive. But they got so many things right on the shoe. I will note that this is a size 10, and I normally wear a size 10 and a half, but this made me rethink my trail shoe size because I liked it being a little snugger, especially when like going downhill or just staying over the platform. I think it worked out really well. The fit of this was great. A size 10 I'd call myself a small 10 and a half, where Carl I think is more of like a 10 and a half,
Going to 11.
possibly
Okay.
to 11. So this fit me just about perfect. only issue I had was that terrible run I had on this weekend. I did another 8 or 7 miles in it, and I was getting a little rubbing on the back heel of one of the shoes because there's nothing
Right.
back here.
I could see that.
But I'm not sure if it. I didn't have that in the other 2 runs, and it may have been a sock issue.
Yeah, and so this has a Vibram Mega Grip outsole, I believe. With these, the lugs are interesting. They're meant to look like a
Knobby tire.
knobby tires from a off-roading.
It's kind of crazy. They stick out on the side, some of them.
Yeah, but the thing is, I thought they were gonna have that kind of like a brrp, brrp feel underneath the foot. If you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean.
They're actually pretty smooth. The traction was great on the trail, but there's the road section where you're on asphalt and gun road and all that stuff, where they don't interfere with the
and
feel.
the midsole feels good.
Midfield feels great. It's a
Okay.
PIBA EVA blend.
Yeah.
So
what do they call it? Like, what's the midsole called? I know the upper is like Rippy 66.
Rippy.
yeah, Rippy 66. The bottom is they gave it a special name. I forget the name. They just sent a new sheet on it.
We have a whole interview with the designer from TRE on our YouTube, which is actually pretty cool.
It's pretty in depth.
Oh,
Pretty
Euphoria.
in-depth.
Euphoria.
Euphoria.
Foam.
Euphoria Super Foam.
Yeah.
But what's the outsole called? The
Tune lug.
Tune Lug.
Vibram
But it's
Tune
mega.
lug
It's
outsole.
mega grip.
Yeah, 66 monomesh upper.
Yeah,
It's called TheRocker. I don't even know if you said that.
I did.
Okay.
And so the people who did design it were the same people who designed like the Arc'teryx shoes, like their line right now, which look really good. You could definitely see the similarities. And then I think
Are the Arc'teryx shoes as good as this though? Like our guys have been reviewing that.
I've only run in the one that was not I didn't really love, but it was also a Gore-Tex version. But they've also done the Solomon. I think I want to say the Ultra S-Lab Ultra maybe. So they've done they have experience designing some good shoes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Satisfy themselves, Brees and them probably put their input into the shoe.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
And it's just a really nice trail running shoe. And reading some of the materials they put out about it, they said they wanted to get road running people into trail running. Mm-hmm. And I think when they say that, what they really mean is the cushioning feels right and comfortable. It's flexible. The shoe's light on the feet.
I mean, it looks good too.
Yeah.
Because, we love how good the Norda shoes look, and I think this is in line with that type of thing.
Yeah, it has a premium feel. I think I'm impressed by the shoe. I'm excited to see where they go from here with their shoes, with as much details they put into this.
Yeah, and it's $280, right? I think. And there's a few more colorways coming as well that we saw. There's like a light, like a bluish gray,
And a
blue gray.
pale, all the colors seem like pale. There's like a pale yellowish
Yeah, like a
color.
faded vanilla or something.
Yeah, but I really, really enjoyed this on the trails. Right now, the Prodigio Pro was pretty good. I know that's a hot one for the team.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's a front runner for a trail shoe of the year.
Probably.
And then I really like the T1 and the H1.
It's the Mount the Coast. What is that? The gravel shoe coming?
Yeah.
Hybrid.
Hybrid
shoe.
I used that one on Friday with the CDL run. Mm-hmm. I did 8 miles or something in that one, or
Nice.
maybe it was 6 miles. I forget what it was, but all on road, and it felt great.
I saw someone, Floris Gearman from Path Projects is helping crew somebody for Badwater right now, and he's running in the Mount the Coast. I think the R1.
Well, they have the special edition Mountain Coast.
Oh, really?
It's the R. It's like for Badwater.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
it's a R135 is what they're calling it.
That's cool.
Get the little play on it.
Yeah.
That one's interesting because what they did is, you have to run a lot of it at night and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They made the entire midsole reflective.
Oh wow.
So like
Okay.
in the light, the whole thing
Makes
will
sense.
light up.
Would you ever run that
No.
in another life?
I know that I don't like running in heat, and it was 120 or something.
Sounds awful.
I've just seen like clips from that race, and I absolutely have no desire to ever do that.
Now, the only thing that's nice about it, you're below sea level. I don't know. Sea level seems to be fine with oxygen. If you're below sea level, is there even more oxygen?
Oh, I never thought about that.
But you're just in like a death hole of sunshine.
I call it the walk.
Yeah.
The walk.
You're just in a heat chamber.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That one also ends by
And-
running up a mountain. So you run 100-something miles.
Why,
and
if
then-
you get lost in a desert, you can't drink beer? Why is that?
I didn't
Never
I
heard
didn't know
Says
that.
No
Oh.
one's ever said that.
Well,
On a horse with no name?
yeah. No, I think I remember seeing some like video as a kid where they're like, don't drink. I guess maybe this happened a lot in the 80s where
Kids were getting lost and
person's
drinking six-packs.
off-roading in a Jeep and the Jeep breaks down in the middle of a desert or something. And they're like, the only, of course, it's the 80s. The only fluids were alcohol. And they're like, don't drink beer. It'll make you,
Well,
is it a diuretic? Like it makes you dehydrate
Yeah.
quicker?
You
It
pee.
will dehydrate you.
Oh, okay. But then you just drink the pee and you're good, right?
I guess so, yes.
It's worth it.
Rocky Mountain
Dude,
filter.
it's- You have some beers in the desert. Is it worth it to drink your pee if that's your last resort?
Well, think about the 70s. You didn't have to wear a seatbelt.
Yeah.
You could
They-
drink and drive.
optional.
Like
Yeah.
drinking and driving was not illegal. It was.
Wasn't even frowned
But
upon.
no, it wasn't. It was like, hey, watch your intake there. You don't want to be swerving all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, that phrase has now turned into you can't drink beer if you're lost in the desert. But it stemmed from the original
Really?
warning of
That's
don't
kind of
drink beer.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never even heard this. There is an actual
That's
saying.
what, according to Google.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I feel like they should make a beer that you can drink in the desert if you're lost.
That would be a good campaign.
It's probably Athletic Brews.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say that's already.
I
in
like that somebody
existence.
did this thing where he pretended he was the beer developer.
Scientist.
He's like, I separated all the ingredients and then I made, I took out the good parts, I took out the alcohol, but I left all the bad parts, the rotten taste, the, the
Yeah,
calories,
yeah,
all
yeah.
that. And you can drink that in my Athletic Brew. But then I took all the stuff that I took out from that and then I put it in a can and I called it White Claw. And that's just the alcohol and water.
Nice.
And he's like, and then people like that so much that I took the alcohol out of the White Claw and just made it a seltzer, and people like drinking that. It's like it really is like it's gone.
I want to know if people are purchasing the non-alcoholic White Claws, because that is still the most insane.
But I could see somebody being like, "I like this better than LaCroix."
I've never had that. I've had the hop water, which is fine. I don't know that I want to be out buying it on
Yeah.
a regular basis. It's somewhat, but it basically is just a seltzer that tastes
Yeah.
like a slightly beer taste.
Yeah,
It's weird.
It's crazy.
Like dirty seltzer.
Grassy water.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show how much of it is just mental.
It's marketing.
Like, it's
Look, I get
marketing,
it.
but it's also like your mind is saying, "Oh, this tastes somewhat like a beer," and it attaches feelings to that.
The habit. Yeah. I also get, hey, you're at a party, and you don't want to be the one drinking a seltzer,
Yeah.
and someone gives you a can that looks similar to the alcohol beverages, so you don't feel like as much like, I'll take the seltzer water.
Yeah. Although nowadays, I feel like it's not even a thing.
Yeah.
Back then, you get hazed for it. Like 15.
Why aren't you an
Yeah,
alcoholic?
15 years ago, if you told people you didn't drink, they'd like shame you.
Yeah. Yeah, stop being such a.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no shaming here. No body shaming here.
No.
Yeah.
Or
Not of
booze.
any
Do you know
kind.
the other thing we didn't talk about though? Just real quick, we should maybe mention. Bandit did that incredible
Oh, yeah.
Grand Prix thing that looked pretty sick.
Dude, how much freaking money did they spend on that thing? Because it looked insane.
A lot of money.
And they had Washed Out DJing it. That's like a legit. Like, I listen to their albums all the time.
Did you? Well, it used to be part of Portlandia.
Yeah, that was like the
Um,
main theme song. Yeah.
Did you ever, like, when you watched that? Did you feel intimidated by? Like, would you feel intimidated running that?
Yeah, but it fits in with
It's very
New
on
York,
brand.
New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's super cool.
It was super cool. And then on top of that, though, here's the thing I didn't like. So you win your 5K. Your reward is you get to run another 3K.
Oh,
Only if
that's
you were
right.
at the top of your 5K.
That's what I'm saying. If
Right.
you're at the top, like that's more running.
I think that's what people want. I think that's
Do
what
they?
they were there for.
All right.
The running.
Because I was like, hey, I did really well in the 5K. Can I just have an ice cream?
Yeah, that was pretty cool though. I mean, the production value was wild.
Yeah.
And even like some of the art installations
Yeah.
were cool.
And the fact that you can find just a warehouse in New York City to do that in, even if it is out wherever it was, is pretty amazing.
Where-
And then convert it.
Wait, that wasn't at the Piers? I thought it was on the.
They got a warehouse somewhere,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
don't
when
know
we
where.
were doing, do you remember like coming back from the Brooklyn half? There was like a big building that had Bandit on the side of it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if it
I
was
was
the
wondering
same
if that
place.
was the place,
It
yeah.
may have been.
But yeah, kudos to that team because man, they're killing it. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, they've got the vibes.
Yeah, no, that was a super cool event. But we'll probably do one of those in Baltimore, right?
Yeah. I just
Same,
did it. I just
same,
did
same.
it. We'll just film it in the weed shop next to us.
That'd actually be sick if you did like the thing with the dirt bike riders or something.
It would be like they're jumping over the runners.
Yeah.
Oh
Dude, we could find a place to do it too.
yeah.
I don't even think you'd have to rent
Also,
it.
Adidas did something at some sort of mine where they made a 200-meter track out of like the stuff they mine there. It's the stuff that goes in between drywall.
Okay.
So they sculpted it out of the ground in the mine, 200-meter track, and then when they were done, it just got wiped out and
Oh.
part of the
So it was underground?
mine. No, it was on top. But imagine like
Oh, I got you.
It looked really sick. It looked like
Where was that at? In the U.S. or in?
it was in the U.S. I want to say in New Mexico or something.
All right. I like that.
Yeah, but check that out.
We,
Oh.
could, do,
That's
we could do
happening.
that with like all the broken glass in Patterson Park. Create
Yeah.
our own glass.
I don't know
Glass
why,
surface.
but when you pick up the green lighters and stuff,
Uh-huh.
all I can think about is he needs to wash his hand. That was probably in some junkies.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You're
but
washing your hands after
This is
every run,
I
right?
do.
Okay.
I do. If I remember.
Okay.
But it's like I built this city on
Rock and roll.
on germs.
He's
and-
immune building.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're talking about like block building and workouts and stuff, that's my version of block
All
building.
right, I get it.
Stacking immunotherapies. All right.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Hi, Ma.
Hi, Robin.
Get a good stretch, got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna tuck run, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop. TROP.